Gonna get back into politics again? Like mayor of Carmel?
I think...
Tell me about being mayor of Carmel. What?
It was great fun.
I mean, you cleaned the city up.
It was never dirty. It was never corrupt.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a closer look at the legendary Clint Eastwood, his laid-back lifestyle, massive earnings, and some recent changes in his personal life that have fans talking. If you're all about Hollywood icons, behind-the-scenes stories, and a dash of drama, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's get started. Born Clint Eastwood Jr. on May 31, 1930, in San Francisco, California, Clint Eastwood grew up during the challenging years of the Great Depression, an experience that instilled in him a sense of resilience, independence, and stoicism that would later define many of his on-screen characters. His father, Clint Eastwood Sr., was a steelworker and migrant laborer who took various jobs across the West Coast, while his mother, Margaret Ruth Runner, was a factory worker and later an IBM operator. The Eastwood family moved frequently during Clint's early years, eventually settling in Piedmont, a quiet, upper-middle-class suburb in the East Bay, before relocating again to nearby Oakland. Despite the family's modest means and itinerant lifestyle, Eastwood's childhood was relatively stable, marked by an early appreciation for the outdoors, mechanics, and self-reliance. He enjoyed building things, fixing cars, and exploring the rugged California terrain, interests that reflected his natural curiosity and would later shape the rugged, hands-on personas he became famous for. Clint was a tall, shy, and somewhat solitary child who didn't particularly excel academically, but showed signs of deep observation and quiet confidence from an early age. Eastwood attended Piedmont High School briefly, but was asked to leave due to disciplinary issues. He later graduated from Oakland Technical High School. He was never especially drawn to the performing arts during these years. In fact, acting was far from his mind. Instead, he had an interest in music, particularly jazz and blues, and spent much of his free time listening to records or playing piano, a passion that would stay with him for life. After high school, Eastwood worked a series of blue-collar jobs, including as a lifeguard, forest firefighter, and gas station attendant. These experiences grounded him and contributed to the self-made, working-class authenticity that later characterized both his acting and directing style. A pivotal moment came in 1951 when Eastwood was drafted into the U.S. Army during the Korean War. He served as a lifeguard at Fort Ord in Northern California, where he narrowly survived a plane crash, an experience that gave him a deep appreciation for life and a sense of personal durability. It was during his time at Fort Ord that fate intervened. A fellow soldier with Hollywood connections introduced him to a Universal Studios staff member, leading to a casual screen test. Though Eastwood had no formal training or aspirations to become an actor at the time, his tall frame, chiseled features, and brooding demeanor captured the attention of studio executives. This connection led to a contract with Universal in the mid-1950s, launching a career that would eventually span decades. While Eastwood's early entry into acting was somewhat accidental, it was also the culmination of a life shaped by perseverance, adaptability, and quiet ambition. Influential relationships, particularly with early mentors in Hollywood, helped refine his talents. But it was his upbringing in a working-class, post-depression household that instilled in him the grit and independence that would become hallmarks of both his screen presence and directorial vision.
But I do stuff with technology. I invented a new app called Bonk. Have you heard of this?
Bounce?
Bonk.
Bunk?
Yeah, it's Bonk. It takes a picture of your face. Would you like to try it?
No.
Career and success. Clint Eastwood's path from accidental screen test to cinematic icon was anything but conventional, but it was marked by the same quiet determination and creative control that defined his early life. After signing with Universal Studios in the 1950s, Eastwood spent nearly a decade in minor roles, but his breakout came in 1959 when he was cast as Rowdy Yates in the television western Rawhide. The show ran for 8 seasons and became a major hit, making Eastwood a familiar face in American households and setting the stage for the next, more defining chapter of his career. Eastwood's true rise to stardom began when Italian director Sergio Leone cast him as the enigmatic man with no name in A Fistful of Dollars, 1964, followed by For a Few Dollars More, 1965, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966. These spaghetti westerns revolutionized the genre and launched Eastwood into international fame. His steely presence, minimalist dialogue, and morally complex characters became instantly iconic. These roles reshaped the image of the American cowboy and solidified Eastwood's status as a global leading man. In the 1970s, Eastwood continued his ascent with another defining character, San Francisco detective Harry Callahan in Dirty Harry, 1971. The film was a massive box office success and sparked a franchise that spanned 4 sequels. Dirty Harry's tough, no-nonsense persona became a cultural touchstone, further establishing Eastwood as a symbol of rugged masculinity and justice. During this era, Eastwood collaborated with frequent screenwriters and co-stars, including Don Siegel, who directed several of his early films and became a significant mentor in his directorial development. By the early 1970s, Eastwood had begun to direct his own films, starting with Play Misty for Me, 1971, a psychological thriller that showcased his ambition behind the camera. This move marked a critical turning point. Eastwood was no longer just a star, he was becoming a filmmaker. Over the next few decades, he would direct and often star in a string of acclaimed films, including The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976, Bronco Billy, 1980, Pale Rider, 1985, and Unforgiven, 1992. The latter earned him 2 Academy Awards for Best Director and Best Picture, and a nomination for Best Actor, cementing his legacy as one of Hollywood's top-tier storytellers. Eastwood's career entered a new phase in the 2000s, as he embraced more complex, character-driven narratives. He directed Mystic River, 2003, and Million Dollar Baby, 2004, both of which won widespread acclaim and multiple Oscars. Million Dollar Baby earned him his second set of Oscars for Best Director and Best Picture, and another nomination for Best Actor. These films showcased his evolving style, spare, emotionally potent, and deeply human. Beyond acting and directing, Eastwood became a prolific producer and founded his own production company, Malpaso Productions, which has backed nearly all of his films since the 1970s. Over the course of his career, Eastwood has won 4 Academy Awards and received numerous honors, including the AFI Life Achievement Award, the Kennedy Center Honors, and the Golden Globe Cecil B. DeMille Award. He has collaborated with some of the industry's most respected talents, from Morgan Freeman and Hilary Swank to Tom Hanks and Sean Penn, while also nurturing emerging actors and crafting an enduring directorial legacy. Clint Eastwood's career is a rare blend of commercial success, critical acclaim, and artistic integrity. From Western anti-hero to Oscar-winning director, from TV star to cultural icon, his journey reflects an unwavering commitment to authenticity, craftsmanship, and storytelling. Today, he stands not just as a legend of cinema, but as a towering figure whose influence on film, as both an actor and filmmaker, continues to shape the industry for generations to come.
I'm reasonably intelligent, but I'm certainly not a person who is of high scholastic learning, and I feel that what I am today, where I've gone today, have been based mostly on instinct, animal instinct.
Income and wealth. Clint Eastwood's financial legacy is as impressive as his cinematic one. With a career that spans over 6 decades and includes blockbuster acting roles, award-winning directing, and highly profitable business ventures, Eastwood has amassed an estimated net worth between $375 million and $500 million, according to multiple financial sources. His fortune is the result of not just a prolific output in film, but also a strategic, behind-the-scenes mastery of Hollywood economics. Early in his career, Eastwood began earning sizable salaries for his leading roles, particularly after the global success of the Dollars trilogy and Dirty Harry series. By the 1970s and 80s, he was one of the highest-paid actors in the world, often commanding millions per film. But where Eastwood truly outpaced many of his contemporaries was in his transition to director-producer-entrepreneur, allowing him to both creatively and financially control his projects. Even into his later years, Eastwood continued to command both box office attention and sizable paychecks. Films like Gran Torino, 2008, which cost only $33 million to produce but grossed nearly $150 million domestically, exemplified his ability to turn modest budgets into massive profits. He often forgoes upfront salaries in favor of larger profit participation, an approach that has multiplied his wealth significantly over time. Eastwood has also made money through music and composing, having scored or co-scored several of his own films. Though not a primary income stream, it reflects his deeply involved approach to his work and his ability to earn across multiple creative domains. Despite his immense wealth, Eastwood has remained relatively understated about his finances, choosing to focus on artistic legacy and self-sufficiency over flashy displays of affluence. However, his longevity, work ethic, and control over his career have placed him among the wealthiest and most respected figures in entertainment history. Clint Eastwood's income is not just a product of fame, it's the result of strategic ownership, entrepreneurial thinking, and relentless productivity. Life and lifestyle. Clint Eastwood's financial independence and legendary status have afforded him a lifestyle defined by simplicity, self-reliance, and a deep connection to nature, an approach that mirrors his on-screen persona and off-screen values. Despite his enormous success and wealth, Eastwood has never been known for flashy displays or extravagant indulgence. Instead, he has cultivated a quiet, purpose-driven life centered on personal interests, health, and a steadfast commitment to authenticity. An avid outdoorsman, Eastwood finds solace in nature, often spending time at his beloved Mission Ranch in Carmel-by-the-Sea, California, a restored coastal property he purchased in the 1980s. Not just a business venture, the ranch serves as a peaceful retreat where he enjoys the coastal views, the company of animals, and the simplicity of rural life. A lifelong fitness enthusiast, Eastwood has maintained a strict health regimen well into his 90s. He practices meditation, avoids alcohol, eats a largely plant-based diet, and maintains a disciplined exercise routine, habits that have contributed to his remarkable longevity and productivity. One of Eastwood's most cherished hobbies is music. A trained jazz and blues pianist, he has composed scores for several of his films, including $1 Million Baby and Mystic River. His love for music dates back to his youth, and he's often been spotted playing piano during downtime on set or at home. This quieter passion adds depth to his identity as a storyteller, revealing a softer, introspective side of the man known for his stoic screen presence. In terms of fashion and personal style, Eastwood is famously low-key. He favors timeless casual clothing, well-worn jeans, button-down shirts, and boots, reflecting a no-nonsense attitude toward fame and image. He's not one for red carpet spectacle or designer labels, preferring functionality and comfort over flash, which only strengthens his reputation as a grounded, unpretentious figure in an industry often driven by glamour. Philanthropy has also played a meaningful role in Eastwood's life, though often carried out without fanfare. He has supported numerous causes over the years, including environmental conservation, veteran services, education, and disaster relief. He has quietly donated to organizations like the Red Cross, the California Fire Foundation, and various scholarships and programs in the arts. During his tenure as mayor of Carmel-by-the-Sea in the 1980s, he championed public access to beaches, local environmental protections, and small business support, an early reflection of his civic-mindedness. Eastwood's lifestyle hasn't been without controversy. Known for his political independence and at times provocative public statements, he has sparked debate throughout his career. Perhaps most famously, his speech at the 2012 Republican National Convention drew national attention for its unscripted and unusual delivery. While the moment was polarizing, Eastwood has remained unapologetically himself, continuing to value free expression and individualism over public approval. These episodes, while headline-grabbing, have largely underscored his commitment to personal conviction, a trait that resonates with both fans and critics. He's also weathered personal challenges, including complex relationships and family dynamics. Eastwood has fathered 8 children with multiple women. but has remained a constant presence in the lives of many of his children, some of whom have followed him into the film industry. His role as a father and mentor reflects a quieter, more private aspect of his life, one rooted in loyalty and introspection. Clint Eastwood's lifestyle reflects the same values that have guided his career: discipline, independence, and a deep respect for craft and character. Whether composing music at his ranch, walking along the Carmel coast, or directing his next film well into his 90s, he embodies a brand of enduring authenticity rarely seen in modern celebrity. His legacy isn't just about awards or box office figures, it's about how he's chosen to live, with quiet strength, creative freedom, and unwavering dedication to the things that truly matter.
We've got.
Are you planning on possibly attending the GOP convention?
I don't know. I was invited last time at the very last minute. I suppose they might not want me this year because I'll be talking to chairs and doing something stupid, and which was strictly off the top of my head.
Sure.
Personal relationships. Clint Eastwood's personal life has long been as multifaceted and storied as his career, woven with a mix of romance, fatherhood, lasting friendships, and deep creative partnerships. Over the years, Eastwood has developed a reputation not only as a cinematic legend, but as a man of layered relationships, some traditional, others unconventional, all of which have helped shape his public persona and private legacy. Among the most enduring relationships in Eastwood's life is that with actress Frances Fisher, his former partner, and the mother of his daughter, Francesca Eastwood. The two met in the early 1990s while working together on Unforgiven, 1992, and their relationship lasted several years during a pivotal time in Eastwood's transition from action star to acclaimed director. Though their romantic relationship ended in the mid-1990s, they remained on amicable terms, co-parenting Francesca and occasionally appearing at events together over the decades. In recent months, as of November 2025, Eastwood and Fisher have been spotted spending more time together, attending art openings, private screenings, and even enjoying quiet dinners in Carmel by the Sea, where Eastwood still resides. Though neither has publicly commented on the nature of their renewed companionship, friends and close industry sources say the connection appears deeper than mere friendship. Their reconnection seems to follow a period of profound personal loss for Eastwood. In 2024, his longtime companion, Christina Sandera, passed away unexpectedly from cardiac complications. The quiet grief that followed seemed to pull Eastwood back toward familiar bonds, relationships grounded in shared history, trust, and understanding. Fisher, with whom he shares both a child and a rich past, has reportedly been a source of comfort and stability during this time. Those close to the pair describe their renewed dynamic as affectionate and natural, marked by a warmth that suggests an emotional closeness that never truly faded. Whether rekindled romance or a deepened friendship, their time together reflects Eastwood's lifelong tendency to lean on long-standing relationships over fleeting connections. In his 90s now, Eastwood seems to be embracing a slower pace of life, gravitating toward people who know him best, not just as a public figure, but as a man. Eastwood's broader family life is similarly complex but deeply rooted. He is the father of 8 children with multiple women, and while the family tree is non-traditional, many of his children, such as Scott Eastwood and Francesca, have followed in his creative footsteps. He remains active in their lives and often appears at events with them, signaling a bond that has strengthened over time. In the professional world, Eastwood is known for his fierce loyalty. He has maintained long-term collaborations with actors and crew members alike, working repeatedly with talents like Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman, and cinematographer Tom Stern. His film sets are famously quiet and focused, reflective of a leadership style built on trust and mutual respect. This consistency in professional relationships mirrors the emotional through lines in his personal life, marked by a deep respect for people who have stood the test of time. Eastwood's personal life, while not without controversy, particularly involving past affairs and legal disputes, has also shown evidence of growth, reconciliation, and grace in his later years. He rarely addresses these issues publicly, choosing instead to express himself through action. By showing up for his children, maintaining respectful ties with past partners, and, in this case, reconnecting with someone who's known him through various seasons of his life. The apparent re-emergence of Francis Fisher in Clint Eastwood's day-to-day life adds a poignant new layer to his story. It's not just a nostalgic reunion, it's a reflection of the values that have quietly shaped him all along: loyalty, familiarity, and emotional honesty. In a life filled with bold decisions and larger-than-life accomplishments, Eastwood's relationships, especially those that endure, speak volumes about the man behind the legend. Real estate. Clint Eastwood's real estate portfolio tells the story of a man who values heritage, natural beauty, and quiet sophistication over Hollywood excess. One of the crown jewels of Eastwood's property holdings is the Mission Ranch in Carmel by the Sea, California. He purchased the 22-acre coastal property in 1986 when it was slated for demolition and redevelopment. Rather than allow the historic ranch to disappear, Eastwood invested in a full restoration, transforming it into a charming and serene resort destination. Today, Mission Ranch includes a restaurant, tennis courts, a fitness center, and nearly 30 guest cottages, all set against a backdrop of lush meadows with grazing sheep and sweeping ocean views. The restoration preserved the ranch's 1850s roots while breathing new life into the community, underscoring Eastwood's deep commitment to conservation and local heritage. Equally significant is Eastwood's former residence known as Las Ondas, a stunning Spanish Revival estate also located in Carmel. Built in 1924 and featuring over 4,400 square feet of living space, the home boasts arched doorways, mahogany woodwork, a red-tiled roof, and an elegant courtyard. Eastwood lived there during his term as mayor of Carmel in the 1980s and maintained it as a personal retreat for many years. In October 2024, the home sold for a remarkable $19 million, nearly a decade after its previous sale for $2 million. The appreciation in value highlights not only the property's architectural significance but also the enduring allure of Eastwood's taste in real estate. Over the years, Eastwood has also owned homes in Pebble Beach, Bel Air, and Sun Valley, Idaho. These properties, while diverse in geography and design, share common themes: privacy, understated luxury, and a deep connection to the landscape. His Pebble Beach estate was known for its sweeping ocean views, classic California design, and secluded setting, while his Idaho retreat offered a rustic mountain escape ideal for skiing, hiking, and reflection. These homes were never showpieces for the paparazzi. They were sanctuaries for a man who has always valued solitude and serenity over the spotlight. Currently, Eastwood is deeply involved in a real estate venture called Tehama Carmel, a 2,000-acre private, gated community nestled in the hills of Carmel Valley. As the visionary behind the project, Eastwood has helped shape Tehama into a unique blend of sustainable development and luxury living. The community features estate-sized lots ranging from 3 to 25 acres, with design guidelines emphasizing harmony with the environment. Residents have access to world-class amenities, including a private golf club, wellness center, and nature trails. Tehama reflects Eastwood's long-term vision for real estate, one that prioritizes beauty, balance, and a legacy of land stewardship. Stylistically, Eastwood's properties tend to favor classic American and Spanish colonial revival aesthetics: earthy tones, handcrafted wood finishes, stone fireplaces, and open-air courtyards. Many of his homes feature expansive libraries, piano rooms, and artfully curated spaces that invite creativity and quiet contemplation. Whether a coastal ranch or a mountain hideaway, his properties reflect a refined masculinity and an ethos of quality over quantity. Cars and vehicles. Clint Eastwood's relationship with cars mirrors the same themes that run through his career and lifestyle: understated strength, enduring craftsmanship, and a deep appreciation for Americana. Long before he became a household name, Eastwood's early experiences with cars were shaped by practicality and a mechanical curiosity. One of his first cars was a 1937 Ford Coupe, a simple but sturdy ride that suited his no-nonsense working-class roots. In interviews, Eastwood has described tinkering with engines and developing a hands-on understanding of automobiles, an early hobby that reflected his quiet independence and do-it-yourself ethos. As Eastwood's career accelerated through the 1960s and 70s, so did the sophistication of his vehicles. He began collecting classic and performance cars, but always gravitated toward models that emphasized performance, legacy, and timeless design over flash. One of his most notable cars is the 1975 Ferrari 365 GT4 Berlinetta Boxer, a sleek Italian supercar that he's been photographed with over the years. Though not ostentatious, it reflected his growing status in Hollywood and his appreciation for well-engineered machines. Another standout from his garage is the GMC Typhoon, a high-performance SUV from the early 90s that became something of a cult classic. Eastwood was often seen driving it around Carmel, blending speed with utility in a way that paralleled his balance of action and substance on screen. Over time, he's also owned Cadillacs, Ford trucks, and Lincoln sedans, consistently choosing vehicles that are both American-made and emblematic of enduring quality. In more recent years, Eastwood has taken a more relaxed approach to his car collection, often seen in modest SUVs or hybrid sedans, especially around Carmel by the Sea, where he lives a quieter, more reserved lifestyle. While he's never been one to flaunt flashy sports cars, he remains passionate about vehicles that are built to last and carry a certain old-school elegance. Even today, he reportedly keeps a few classic cars in his collection, including a Ford Gran Torino, a nod to his 2008 film of the same name, in which the car plays a central symbolic role. Though not known to travel by private jet as frequently as other celebrities, Eastwood does make use of chartered flights when needed, especially for film-related business or festival appearances. However, he's known to prefer driving himself when possible, finding calm and freedom in the open road. Current lifestyle. In 2025, Eastwood remains far from retiring. He's actively working. At age 95, he told Austrian magazine Courier that he's already in pre-production on a new film project, reaffirming that he has much more experience today and isn't ready to slow down. The film, though still unnamed, is being developed potentially with Warner Brothers and is described as a character-driven story, aligning with Eastwood's decades-long style. Additionally, several of his classic films, such as Dirty Harry, 1971, The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976, and Pale Rider, 1985, have been restored and released on 4K Ultra HD in 2025, helping renew his visibility with new audiences and reminding fans of his legacy. On the personal side, Eastwood continues his longtime commitment to land stewardship and community. His project Tehama Carmel, a 2,000-acre sustainable estate development above Carmel Valley, remains active, with reports noting its nature-first emphasis and that Eastwood continues to own a residence within the development. From a philanthropic perspective, his contributions remain wide-ranging. He supports veterans programs, disaster relief efforts, children's health initiatives, and environmental conservation. Balancing all this, Eastwood appears to maintain a daily rhythm that reflects his legendary self-discipline, staying active, spending time outdoors in his Carmel surroundings, and remaining creatively engaged. By both tapping into his past, through restorations, legacy films, and looking ahead, new film, real estate development, he manages to stay relevant to longtime fans while appealing to younger viewers discovering his work for the first time. That brings us to the end of this story. If you enjoyed it, don't miss the other celebrity journeys waiting for you on screen. Thanks so much for watching.